Hi. See if I can get this set up so I can jump right into my talk at 7:30. Let's see here. Hi. So I'm actually here maybe a minute and a half early, just so I can get everything set up. So at 7:30, we're going to jump in and get started. I'm Nori. I'm so excited to see your faces pop up on the screen. Welcome to the DC Now events talk. You know, they started doing this with COVID when it kind of took over and we were all and still are shut in our homes. And so today I'm going to have a takeover with you, a small business takeover, consistency in your business. So I'm actually typing the title and information. So give me just a second as we get set up. DC Now. But welcome everyone that is checking in. I appreciate you. I thought I had this like fired up and ready to go, but obviously technology will always surprise you. But I see people are checking in, and so I appreciate you joining me this evening. And so I'm just about to pin this comment for everyone. So I just also posted on my IG that we on this side, we on DC Now events, IG Live. So yeah. Hey Nels, hey David, hey Emily, hey Nye. Nori. Get these popping. It's 7:30 now, so I'm ready to get started. Let's see. Hi. I appreciate everybody just checking in. I'm seeing my people pop up on the screen. Consistency. If I can type. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. I think I am good with this. I think. Welcome. There we go. Let me pin this. There we go. Okay. I think we're good to go. Okay. Hope everybody is feeling and living absolutely wonderful. Thank you for joining in on this small business takeover, this talk again. For those that are just now checking in, my name is Nori. I am a national on-air personality and television host. Just to give a bit of background, before I start to give my bit of background, if you have any questions at any time, there is a little box, it's like a comment talk box and has a question in it. Please post your questions there, and once I kind of get through going over some information, then I'll take your questions. But again, if anyone has a question, please feel free to go ahead and ask your question. I would love to directly answer any questions that you may have, and that helps, that gets right to the point. So the topic today is consistency in your business. And to give you a bit of backstory about who I am, I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And about 3 years ago, I relocated to DC. And I relocated to Southeast, and it was just a really exciting experience to be somewhere new and fresh. And it was also like the first time that I had lived outside of Tennessee, of Chattanooga. So it was a lot of new things happening in my life. And I share how I got here, how I got connected with DC Now events, because it really is about being consistent in the work that you do, or what you're passionate about, or what you care about. Because of that consistency, I'm on this platform today. I got started in radio and television at a very early age. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to get paid for talking. like as a young kid. I used to get in trouble in school, and, you know, teachers send me home, and it's like, you know, she just will not stop talking. And I was like, listen, I shouldn't get in trouble for this. It's a natural thing. And how do I make this something that is a part of my everyday life that I can actually live off of? And I knew that fairly early on. So as we fast forward, moving throughout school, I go off to college, and I realized I wanted to be in radio. I wanted to be in entertainment. I wanted to be a part of this music industry, whether it was in front of the camera, behind the camera, it didn't matter. I just absolutely love all things communications. And so once I found that, once that was my piece to get excited about, then I started to move into, okay, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to be a part of this space? Why do I want to be a part of this culture? Like, what is the purpose? What does it serve? And for me, it's information. I love information. I love entertaining information. So once I knew what I wanted to study in school, I actually went to a junior college, and that junior college was Chattanooga State. And I knew the teachers that were teaching there. And so as soon as I got signed up for my classes, I was asking about interning. And that was it for me. Once they said, yeah, you can intern early, like literally, I think my first semester of college, I was already building relationships at the radio station on the college campus, building relationships with the local hip hop station. Like, I was just out here trying to get it. And that consistency has literally carried me for the last 17 years in my career. And so I started at the radio station as an intern at Power 94, production. It didn't matter. Anything to do with the radio station, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be around it. I wanted to shadow the owner personalities. I wanted to try to figure out my own voice. And that was super important for me to figure out my own voice. So from there, I moved from doing being an intern, filling in spots in radio. What you'll learn, or even in communications, normally somebody is moved out of the way so that you can move up. Somebody lose their spot. Somebody do something they're not supposed to do in entertainment, and that's how you're able to kind of move up. Or somebody retire. Somebody just ready to do something different with their life, and that opens up a space for you. But you have to be ready for the opportunities when they present themselves. And so for me, there came an opportunity to be an on-air personality, and I took it. So it was a super late shift. It was overnights in radio. Overnights is like anything after midnight to 2 a.m. I had a shift. And as time went on, I just continued to cultivate and build those relationships. And as I did that, I was able to learn more about the music director's position, more about the program director's position. I was able to come into the station and use their equipment. So that consistency, showing up every day for something that you care about and something that you love and you're passionate about, initially it may not yield a paycheck. Initially it may not. When I first started doing radio, television, communications, I wasn't getting paid. I was showing up because I knew that my talent, that my work ethic, that consistency, showing up, being dependable, being that go-to person, I knew it was going to pay off. I knew a check would come soon, and that's exactly what happened. So a part-time position came open at the radio station. I took that position, and anytime something was happening, if I was able to be there, then I showed up. And then outside of that, again, you become that person that people go to, depend on, and can trust. And you build that trust professionally. And so for me, building that trust professionally looked like was, okay, she can do this on their shift. She can do this television interview. She can interview this celebrity, no matter what background they came from, no matter if they were a known celebrity, or if they were not a known celebrity. I didn't care, because iron sharpens iron. So I was just showing up every day, making sure that I was perfecting my craft, right? and went on to become full-time at the radio station. I did nighttime radio there for some years. I did middays there at the radio. I literally did every day part, middays, and I also did morning radio at that station, and I did the afternoon drive, stepping in for a segment. So again, you have to identify what it is that you care about, that you're passionate about, and that you want to do. Okay. So you have to ask yourself 3 questions when we talk about being consistent and building your brand, and your brand may not be a brand. It just may it just may be you. You are your brand. You are your greatest asset. All right. So you have to ask yourself 3 questions. The 3 questions. The first question: how do you get paid to do what you love? You have to do research. Obviously, the first person that I really saw that represented me was Oprah, right? Oprah's on television. She's a brown-skinned woman. She gets paid to talk to people and ask questions and interview people and dig deep and be a storyteller. So she's the first person that resonated with me as a storyteller on a everyday talk show. So I was really excited when I saw Oprah. Jenny Jones, she was another talk show host that I was a fan of. And it's crazy because although I was like passionate about communications, at that time I'm still trying to figure out, do I want to be a talk show host? Do I want to be a radio personality? Do I want to be TV and just spill the information? Wendy Williams, she just had a documentary. She was really influential because she was just, Wendy was making headlines and she was telling people business. And although that's not my cup of tea, I really liked her grind and her grit. So how do you get paid to do what you love? You got to do some research. You got to figure out and watch the people that are doing what you want to do. And if there are not people doing what you want to do, you have to come up with a plan. Now that plan can be from scratch, or you can follow the blueprint of what someone else has put into play. Okay. Again, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's story is different. And you have to also be mindful as you're figuring out how to move forward and how to stick with something, how to make it your own and not try to mimic. So like you have to be your authentic self, right? Because we can spot a phony a mile away. So, as you are moving through trying to figure out how do you get paid to do something that you love, how do you monetize this? Whether it's social media, some people spend so much time on social media, and I was one of those people. I spend so much time on social media. How do I monetize this? How does this benefit me? Because your time is your currency. So if I'm spending so much time doing this, how do I get paid to do this? So I'll get to that in just a little bit. But so those are the things, like that's how your mind has to be. That has to be your mindset. The wheels have to be turning in that direction. All right. So the first question, how do I get paid to do what I love? Do some research. The second question is this something you're willing to practice? Is this something you're willing to perfect? Because when you think about your craft, whether that is going to school to be a doctor, going to school to be a nurse, going to school to be a lawyer, going to school to learn a trade, whether you want to be in the construction business or if you want to be in the fashion design business, it doesn't matter, but it all takes practice. It all takes a level of determination and consistency. Do it over again. Do it over again. For me, it's communications. For me, it's media. For me, it's television. For me, it's practicing in the car. And I did it over and over again. And it didn't matter how many times I thought I got it right. I did it again. And I did it again. So, for example, right now, I work for 3 different radio stations. I have to practice doing introductions on each station, and I have to be consistent enough and mindful enough that when I'm at Magic Baltimore, I don't say Magic DC. When I'm doing doperadiofm.com, I'm not saying Magic 95.9. So you have to practice, you have to perfect, you have to understand that your, delivery, whatever it is that you're doing, you want to be so good at it. And some people are a jack of all trades, right? Some people are good at multiple things. It is nothing wrong with that. But I tell you, you can really monetize your gifts. You can really monetize whatever it is that you care about and you're passionate about. You can really monetize that when you become an expert in that. Okay? So I do encourage you to become an expert at what you really and truly want to do. Be so knowledgeable that people come to you for that information. You are the go-to person when it comes to psychology. You are the go-to person when it comes to promoting events. You are the premier platform when it comes to somebody wanting to showcase or launch something. Become an expert in whatever it is that you care about. I love communications, and that spilled over to film, that spilled over to learning about producing, that spilled over into how I manage my relationships. All of that is so important because the root of it for me is communications. The root of it for me is I'm inquisitive. I want to know. And I have no problem telling people, no, I just want to know for myself. I want to digest this information so I can possibly regurgitate this information later. I'm going to store and bank this information, this knowledge, so that I can use it later. That's why it's important to read. Like, think about that. That's why it is so important to read, because when you take the time to read, whether it is for pleasure, whether it's professionally, then you are banking this information that you can use later. You can use this in a professional setting. You can use this in a social setting. It's so many ways that you can disseminate information because you're the expert, because you took the time to perfect your craft. So that consistency, whatever it is that you're good at, that consistency though, that's going to be really important. For example, I also have a telecommunications company. Now, it's a different form of communication, but it's still communications, right? So figuring out ways, not only do I streamline get paid by talking on the radio, or streamline get paid by doing a television interview, but now I'm having other forms of income, because not only with communications and being an oratory communicator, I'm learning that, okay, I need to be able to communicate digitally. I need to be able to showcase a campaign. I need to be able to produce. I need to be able to edit my own videos, because you're putting out that content. Again, you become an expert in your field. I am an expert in communications. Give me anything communications related. If I don't know, I'm going to read up on it. I'm going to learn it. And then I'm going to either go back to the person that asked me the question to get their business, to get that contract, to nurture that relationship, or I'm going to bank that information, store it for later, because there will be an opportunity to use that information. So as we go through these 3 questions, think about, how do you get paid to do what you love? Do the research. Is this something you're willing to practice? Is this something you're willing to perfect? Are you willing to put in the time to get the end result that you want? Because most people do not have overnight success. This is something that they have worked on so long, so consistently, that people will come back to them years later and say, hey, do you still do that telecommunications business? Hey, are you still on the radio? Are you do interviews? Can I share this new product that I have? Can I share this new business that I have? Because they know me for communications. So they'll revisit years later. They'll revisit and come back and say, hey, I have this event coming up. Can I promote that with you? Would you like to be a part of that? Because I've established I'm an expert in this space, right? So the third question you have to ask yourself is, what is your why? I know every speaker in the world talks about your why, but that why will keep you up at night. That why will wake you up out your sleep, and that why will keep you motivated, and it will keep you disciplined when you don't feel like it. So why do you do what you do? Why, Nori, why do you want to be in communications? Why do you want to be on the radio? Why do you care about what's happening in other people's lives? Like, how does that benefit you? And for me, because I absolutely love talking. and getting paid to do so. I'm passionate about people. I care about people. And I think for me, it became, I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. I like to listen to people. I like to make people feel comfortable. I want you to be so comfortable talking to me that you forget you're being interviewed. It's so conversational. It's just back and forth. You know, we may have met 5 minutes before I opened up that mic, but you feel so good and like, oh my gosh, you took the nervousness away. That's what it is for me, you know? And so you really have to ask yourself, why do you want to do what you say you want to do? Because I'm going to tell you, time will tell on you. Well, time, you'll tell on yourself. So there's this stigma with network marketing, right? The stigma with network marketing, it's a pyramid scheme, and oh, you shouldn't do it, and all of this, right? So you go to your warm market, people that you know, you say, hey, I'm offering home security services. I'm offering internet services. I'm offering TV services. I'm offering these services to you, right? Try my service. And it's with credible people. And then a year later, those people say, hey, do you still offer internet service? And you're like, nah, I don't do that business no more. Or, hey, are you still in this space? Nah, I don't do that anymore. Now, I'm not saying you have to marry or commit to a job, a person, a place, or thing. That's not what I'm saying. But what it is, you are committing to what you care about. I care about communication. So if it's communications related, if it's keeping you connected with your people, whether that's via internet, social media, whether that's keeping your home secure, whatever that is, I'm in that space. I literally have people that come to me, and outside of just the radio and TV stuff, and say, hey, do you still have your telecommunications company? Can I go to your website? Can I order this? Can I order that? Absolutely. Because I'm consistent in what I'm doing. And so I think you have to think about that when you attach yourself to certain things, when you attach your name or your brand to certain things. Is this something that you're willing to stick with for the long haul? And if it's not, that's okay. Like, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to decide tomorrow that you want to do something new. That is 1,000% okay. But what I'm telling you to do is be consistent in what you are passionate about, because it is going to pay off. And I know it gets frustrating. Trust me, I know. You may get passed up on an opportunity. That door may close. It just may not be your time. Timing is everything. It is everything. Trust me. So, I think it's important to think about those 3 questions, okay? Let's talk about what is consistency overall? Like, what does that really mean? And it is the application of something. It is the application of something. It is to apply time, commitment to something. But you don't want that something to be anything. You want it to be your purpose. You want it to be what you were put here to do. So you got to think about what's important to you. You got to think about why you want to do what you say you want to do. No one's holding you accountable except for you. When you get up in the morning and you go to work and you do whatever it is that has become your lifestyle, it is so important for you to be consistent with who you are so that you can set out to accomplish the goals that you set out for that day, for that week, for that month, for that year. That's why you hear people say, write it out. I write out everything. I didn't come on here and blindly say, oh, I'm just gonna wing it, because I'm a professional. Because you're a professional, you practice. You may memorize things. You may write out your plan. For me, writing out something really sets it in my mind. It really kind of locks it in for me. For some people, they use their devices. I'm old school. I literally always keep a notebook with me. I have multiple notebooks. Calendars. I write out, I plan my day. I just think it's important to have a plan, because that plan helps to keep you consistent. It keeps you on track. And it also sets a reminder. It reminds you of, okay, this is what I have to do. This is why I have to do it today. By the weekend, I want to take time to rest. By the weekend, I want to take time and just do something for myself that's not work related. You have to find balance in this consistent life of purpose. It can't be all work. It can't be all play. It has to be a good balance, okay? And this again is a lifestyle change. This is something that you really have to get with yourself or your team and think about what this looks like short term and what this looks like long term, okay? Getting back to like the word consistency, this is necessary for the sake of logic. It's necessary for the sake of fairness. It's necessary for the sake of accuracy. So as you think about, you know, what consistency looks like, are you consistent at work? Do you show up and deliver good work every day for yourself? If you're an entrepreneur, for the person that you're working for, like, are you a good steward of time? Are you accurate? Are you fair? Are you fair to yourself? Are you too hard on yourself? I'm hard on myself. Sometimes I'm too hard on myself to the point that I get disgusted with myself. Okay. So again, you just have to be mindful of what be honest with yourself. Are you a consistent person? Are you inconsistent? Because that may be something you have to work on. It may be something you have to work on. Okay. Now I want to share this with you, that time is money. Time is your currency, and make sure you spend it wisely. Make sure you spend it wisely. Okay, because that you can never get it back. Have you ever wasted your time doing a project and you didn't have to do it? Have you ever wasted your time with a person, dating someone, business, professional? Let's not waste time. Let's be good stewards of time. Now, I did have a question to pop up, so I want to make sure. Let's see here. All right. How can someone figure out their way? Who's new to business or entrepreneurship? That's a great question. I think someone can figure out their way about what do they spend the most time doing. You know, there are people that fuss at other people for spending time playing video games, whether it's adults or children. Like, there are people that spend hours on end playing video games. But do you not know that consistency of learning that video game can actually be turned into money? Do you know that esports it's $1 billion industry? You can get paid to sample new gaming systems, especially if you have went to different levels, and you know what I'm saying? So it can be as simple as that. And I use that very simple example because it's something that is frowned upon. Like, people frown at people or kids for spending hours playing video games. But if they become an expert in that video game and you actually reach out to the maker of that product and you become a product tester, that it's so much money in testing NBA 2K. It's so much money in testing out the new Halo game. It's so much money in tournaments that they can participate in. Turn your passion into a paycheck. Literally, if your kid or you find yourself love being outside, loving nature, whether that's paying attention to the birds or it's going on trails and walks, you can monetize that. You can tell people the trails that they need to go to maximize their heart rate, or exercising that day, or whatever it is. You can share trail adventures. You can share trail information. You can pin it. You can talk about your experience on that trail, what the terrain is like, the feel, the smells. People pay money for information that you have that you are not monetizing because you're not thinking about yourself as a business. You're not thinking about what do you consistently care about? What do you consistently spend your time doing? How can you get paid to do that? I was so nosy as a child. My mama nicknamed me Nose. She was like, come here, little Nose. And I hated it until I loved it. You know, so I think all of that is just so important. Have you read Burn the Business Plan, The Art of Life, or Think and Grow Rich? I've absolutely read Think and Grow Rich. Obviously, I need to read The Art of Life and Burn the Business Plan. But Think and Grow Rich is a life changer. You know what else is a really good book? Who Moved My Cheese? It is a simple, quick read. It's to the point, but it is everything you need to get that jump start and that motivation to keep going, and not to be in a rut, not to just be doing stuff to be doing stuff. So that's important as well. So thank you for that question. Again, if you have a question, we have a few more minutes left. There's a little talk box with a question in it. You can hit that and post your question, and I would love to answer your questions. But I tell you, I want you to be successful. I want you to figure out what it is that you truly want to do with this life. We only get one life. What are you doing with it? Are you doing the redundant thing in your 9 to 5 and you hate it, and then you spend time with people you really don't like? Like, what are you doing? I remember one of my mentors used to tell me, never do something you don't want to do. Job, hanging out with people, don't do it. If I don't want to do something, or if I have a change of heart, or if I change my mind, hey, I don't want to do that. And you don't owe people an explanation. It's okay to say no. It is okay to say no. Now, if the person is near and dear to your heart, or someone that you have a lot of respect for or care about, and you want to give them an explanation, please do. By no means am I saying to be rude or disrespectful. But what I am saying is, it is okay to say no. Knowing your purpose when you're doing business is really important. Knowing your purpose when you're doing business is really important. Read, study, do your research on what you say you want to do. If you really want to do it, you'll put in the time to learn about it, to educate yourself, so that, again, you're knowledgeable and you can use that information in the right spaces with the right people at the right time. It can happen. Learn to say no and be willing to walk away. I have been given job offers that on the outside looking in sound absolutely amazing, but it wasn't a good fit for me. Be willing to be confident in who you are and walk away. It is okay to walk away. Believe in yourself and wake up every day and choose you. So I saw this quote on social media, and for example, it was somebody said, oh, you woke up and chose peace today. You woke up and chose violence. You woke up and chose to tell jokes. Like, whatever, it's like this new trend that's happening out here. Wake up and choose you every day. When I wake up and choose me. I wake up and choose my family. I wake up and choose the people that I love. I wake up and choose communications. I wake up and choose anything and everything that I'm passionate about. I wake up and choose to eat healthy. So all of this is important. We had another question to come in. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you. Not a question, but you have great energy and very special. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. It means a lot. As we get ready to, again, wrap up, and I just want to make sure I'm covering everything and I'm not missing anything. One of the things that me and Nels talked about is what is my quote? Like, Nori, what's your quote? And I thought about that. I actually pondered on that. Because, words are important. Like, choosing the right words are so important. Like, think about this. When words leave your mouth, that's it. It ain't no take back. You can apologize. You can say I'm sorry. But that's it. Your word is your bond. So I leave you with this quote. Never underestimate the beauty of just being you. You, who you are. Being your authentic self is powerful, sexy, and courageous. Being your authentic self is powerful, sexy, and courageous. That is the absolute truth. Confidence is sexy. And I'm not talking about sex appeal sexy. I'm talking about when you walk in a room and you command a room, that is sexy. People are paying attention to you. You deserve to be paid attention to. You are important, and I definitely appreciate your time. You can follow me on social media at It's Nori Nori. It's actually pinned in the bottom. ITSNORI. Nels and the DC Now Events team, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and spend some time for the Small Business Takeover. Of course, my topic was consistency in your business. If you want to contact me, slide in my DMs, please feel free. Let's stay connected. You can also check me out on my website, itsnorinori.com. I do have a telecommunications business. I do offer services. I do have apparel. And I'm just here for the people. If you have any questions about communications, any aspects of communications, feel free, again, to reach out to me at itsnorinori. And of course, my website is itsnorinori.com, itsnorinori on all platforms. So thank you so much for your time, and you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.